The VolQuest 2-Minute Drill is brought to you by Craven Wings.
Craven Wings 2-Minute Drill on this Thursday. Brent, listen to Kelsey Pope. He likes his group. He's got a lot of different receivers and feels like they're going to be able to plug in guys even though they lost some key contributors from a year ago.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting. You know, he talked about their consistency. He said they've been pretty consistent. Said they left a few plays out in the last scrimmage. We'll see how they do on Sunday. We've seemed to see a few more balls dropped in practice, but he noted
so small sample size.
Yeah, very small sample size, so you don't get too caught up in that. He also noted you're halfway through camp, your legs are pretty tired right now. This is where you really got to dial in and focus. And one thing you heard from all the receivers who talked today, Austin, details. It's been all about the details for those guys. That's what they've been focused on.
I'll tell you the two things that stood out to me, and really it's the same message, is the buy-in from Jalen Hyatt, having a conversation with Velus Jones at the end of last year, watching tape, seeing what he was able to do. Kelsey Pope reiterating that, at 2 games in last year, Velus Jones was nowhere to be found, and then all of a sudden he found his footing, and boom. And then Walker Merrill said, "I'm just tired of not playing, so I'm focused. I want to play." I mean, I think there's a certain level of commitment, specifically from that room, because there are a lot of quality bodies, and they all want to play, and they don't like if anything, they're okay if there's a 7 or 8 man rotation. They don't want a 3-man rotation with this group, too many guys.
Well, I think the lesson was pretty clear from last year. If we're going to play who's ready to play, and if you're not ready to play, we're not going to play you. And if that means we play 3 receivers, we're perfectly content playing 3 receivers, which is what they did a year ago. So there's no vocal message of that. It's turn on the tape. Here's what happened. And those guys experienced it. Jalen Hyatt went to the sidelines and watched. Walker Merrill didn't get on the field. So that is a motivating factor for those. I love where Jalen Hyatt is. We'll see. And the best answer he gave today is,
we ain't got to the game.
I've got to go do it in a game. Yeah. But he's in a very different place than he was at any point in time a year ago, which I think is a great sign for Tennessee.
Well, he walked to the podium today coming off maybe his best practice of fall camp and talking to some people. He had some big catches, touchdown, just played physical, and that's where he wants to get to, is being able to play physical. He gave Squirrel White a lot of credit for his ability to play physical at 165. That's where Jalen's been. He's now up over 180. He wants to play physical as well.
Yeah, he does, and he has to play physical. Now, in the slot, you don't get as much press man coverage, but you're going to get collided by a linebacker. You got to be on, you got to be able to work the safety. You got to play physical in there. I still think with that whole receiving group, we're still trying to figure out who that other outside guy is. Is that Walker Merrill? Maybe it is. Is it Ramel Keaton?
Is it Brew McCoy?
Is it Brew McCoy? I think everybody's ready for it to be Brew McCoy, but he's got to get eligible, and he's got to get healthy, and he's got to get dialed in, in shape, because he hadn't played football in over a year. But who that guy is, I think, is really important for them to try to solve more of this Sunday on the scrimmage field and moving forward here. We're 3 weeks away from playing the game. You got to start to get your pecking order down a little bit.
One real positive I thought today, Hubs, was the fact that you saw Jalen Wright back doing more things. Now, I don't think he was a go for team periods and 11-on-11 work, but way more active today, doing more things in practice than he's done at any point in fall camp.
Well, and look, he's pushing to get back. He's taking care of his body. He's doing it the right way. He also knows he needs to get on the practice field and practice, and there's urgency there. He's not been taking it off and going, I'll get there whenever. But he knows he needs the work. So can he get some work on Sunday? We'll see if he does that. But I think that is a positive because, look, Dylan Sampson can be great, right? Okay, he can do really well. You're going to need to play more than 2 running backs. We saw it a year ago. We got talking about Marcus Pierce getting meaningful carries against Ole Miss. Laneith Whitehead. They were 4 running backs, and at times you didn't feel like they had enough. They need Jalen Wright. They need Dylan Sampson. They need Justin Williams-Thomas and Jabari Small. They need more than 2 guys ready to go. Getting Jalen Wright back out there, I think, is a big deal. Austin, he looks different. Physically, we talked about it. He's a guy who has had a terrific offseason physically. Curious to see how it translates when they get into scrimmage work.
He's Brent Hubbs. I'm Austin Price. Craven Wings 2-Minute Drill. Don't forget they have great lunch specials. And always remember,
when you're craving wings, it's got to be Craven Wings. Online at cravenwings.com.